Elden Ring is usually a very challenging game. Some would say almost impossible. But what if we decide to take this one step further? What if we decide to throw away our main source of healing, the Crimson Flask, and decided to also throw away the better healing spells, only leaving us the ability to regenerate health through talismans, spells, and weapon arts? Can you beat Elden Ring while only regenerating? The rules of this challenge is very simple. I can only recover my health by regenerating or using weapon arts. And that's basically it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Without further ado, let's just hop right into it. We'll start off as a samurai, mainly because they have some good stats, and they have the Uchi Katana, which means we do not need to go out of our way to get a bleed weapon. After we create our silver wolf, we'll go ahead and hop right into Limgrave and speak to Malenia, who will give us a horse and reveal to us our purpose. We were created by Lady Venus, a new Empyrean chosen by the Two Fingers. Her current location is outside the main capital, at a small Erdtree. However, the road to there is very long and hard. Several bosses will stop us, and several pieces will need to be required to lift us up there. After taking a trap chest and ending up in Malenia, we'll get the Blessing Druid Talisman and die to the Golem. After that, we'll go ahead and kill Grail and make a guy fall off a cliff. And then we'll deal with patches, while also getting the Deck's medallions. We'll go ahead and have this Cane Knight kill Bernal for us, and since we didn't attack Bernal, he won't fight back, which will give us the Devourer's Scepter upon his death. After that, we'll go ahead and grab the Icon Shield and try to do a jump, which I completely fail at. And then we take on the Godskin Noble. I was about to say Apostle right there. Surprisingly, we only died once. After we defeat the Godskin Noble, we get access to the Somber 7 and combine it with the Somber 8 and 9 we got earlier. Now with our plus 9 weapon, we go ahead and take on Market, which surprisingly he gets me one time. But the next time around, we just become more aggressive and defeat him pretty easily. Speak of something easy, we go ahead and deal with Godric, and before I can finish the sentence, he is already dead. The Red Wolf of Radgon actually got kind of close this time around. However, Rhinella didn't even get close. After taking the lift, we reach Altus Plateau. There we'll find the tree which our fair lady should be underneath. However, when we get there, she's nowhere to be seen. And just like Mario, Malenia tells us that our fair lady is inside another tree. With the closest tree being nearby being the Erdtree, we go ahead and head into the main capital of Leyndell. As a side note, I find it funny that I've always seemed to take this pathway on top of the roofs while in Leyndell. After defeating this Grey Warden duelist, we can grab the Ritual Shield Talisman next to him. This talisman will become a keystone in our build. Mainly when we're at full health, we will get significantly damage reduction, which we will test out on the Golden Shade of Godfrey, and it seems to be working out very well. Hopefully this talisman keeps its value for the late game. Upon reaching Marika's bedchamber, we get the Blessing of the Erdtree, which is something that will help us out significantly later on, because unfortunately right now we do not have the stats to use it quite yet. We finally reach the base of the Erdtree. There we encounter Morgott, and we demand some answers from him, wondering where our fair lady has been taken to. He tells us that trading the fair lady was to ensure peace between the Haligtree and the Erdtree. Upon hearing this, he draws out his sword and starts to attack us, claiming that he will not allow us to interfere, because it could bring back the one true Empyrean, Miquella, the true successor of Queen Marika. Surprisingly, Morgott is able to kill us twice. Also, if you guys do enjoy these videos, please help it out by leaving a like, comment, subscribe, and comment down what other builds you would like to see on the channel. It will be put in a poll shortly after, and people will be able to vote on what type of builds you guys would like to see. Anyways, with that out of the way, we are able to defeat Morgott. I speak to Malenia, trying to figure out if there is any way we can get to the Haligtree. She tells me that there is a lift, but unfortunately, the pieces of the medallion are in a realm that I cannot physically enter. However, Malenia ensures that she can. She then tells me of a secret weapon in Volcano Manor, one that will work very well with our regenerative abilities. She says that I should go get this weapon while she goes gets the pieces of the medallion. We speak with Lady Tanith.
Aren't you precocious? We rarely receive visitors to the Volcano Manor without invitation. Fascinating. And not unlike another guest we had long ago. So, have you ever harbored doubts about the burden of grace and the dogmatic ramblings of the Fingers? If you have, why not join the Volcano Manor and fight with us, rise with us, against the Erdtree? Your decision is most welcome. Now you belong to the Volcano Manor family. The drawing room lies down the hall. Make yourself comfortable. I am Tanith, the proprietress of this house. An honor to have you.
After killing our first two contracts, we finally reached those concentrated snowfield to confront our third. This third contract is very much of a pain. However, they have a nice set of armor that I would like to have for myself. The pain of fighting this person comes from the actual quickstep and them having whips, which can hit from a long distance, meaning that they can hit me before I can hit them. It was an interesting tug of war, and it got very down to the wire, but in the end, we ended up defeating him, and we got our reward from Lady Tanith.
Perhaps you are ready. Might you see our Lord? Our Lord will no doubt welcome you. Another kindred spirit, treading the path of champions. Yes, as it should be. Now, close your eyes for a moment. I will transport you to the Lord's chamber. Farewell, then. May your visit be fruitful.
We are not playing around. We upgrade the Serpent Hunter up to level 8, and we jump straight into lava and start swinging away at Rykard. Luckily, Rykard didn't do any close range moves, and with all of our regeneration, we are basically able to neglect all of the lava damage, getting us the win on Rykard, and unlocking for us the Blasphemous Blade. Now, I know we are wondering, will this become our main weapon? And short answer is no. It will be taken off before the Fire Giant. Anyways, without further ado, let's continue on with the story. Now that we have the Blasphemous Blade, we need something to test its power upon. And luckily, there's a little festival in Caelid going on. The Radon Festival. Radon would be a perfect candidate to test this thing's power on. We go over to the festival, and we fight Radon. But not even Radon had a chance against this Blasphemous Blade. We defeat him quite easily, just in time for Melina to reappear, showing us both medallions and taking us to the lift. There we take the lift to the Haligtree. Even with Miquella not there, his Haligtree is a symbol of safety, of peace, and love. The trip there is not easy, and many would die trying to make that trip. But for those who make the trip and survive, will feel the warm embrace of a Haligtree. Miquella is truly loved by all, and there is nothing more terrifying. Since our fairy lady was brought here, I cannot imagine what type of plans they would have for her, but whatever they are, it is not good. We cannot allow them to hurt the fairy lady. After making our way through the town, we encounter Miquella's commander, Lady Roletta. And there's nothing really interesting about this fight. We defeat her quite easily. After taking the elevator down, we finally reach the base of the Haligtree. There we can see the city in all its glory, and all the infestation that Malenia has caused. Through her plants and the Haligtree avatars, we also get to see soldiers of Miquella blow themselves up, just to show the light and hoping that their light would bring Miquella home. Through all this, we endure, and we make our way to Malenia. Upon us reaching the base of the Haligtree, we finally see what their true intentions were with our fair lady. They intended to put the fair lady in the spot where Miquella was carved out, covering it all up and hoping that his essence, his soul, would transfer into the fair lady. After we put a stop to the normal people, Malenia wakes up, completely upset that we disturbed the process. In a fit of rage, she attacks us. This fight is one of true endurance, with my abilities to naturally regenerate, and her abilities of inflicting rot and stealing my health upon hit thanks to Miquella. This battle would be one to remember. Many people thought Malenia has failed. The only person coming close was Renan in his prime, but even that was a standstill. But neither one of us was willing to give up, and with a quick motion of her, she shatters my armor. With our armor shattered, just like our hopes and dreams of beating Malenia first try, we continue the fight. We endure. Malenia was surprised, however, very pleased that we were not going to be an easy victory for her. However, she is completely surprised due to my natural regeneration, and it confuses her long enough for us to get the win on her. However, upon defeating her, she blooms into a flower, unleashing her goddess of rot. The fight continues. With Malenia's rot on the table, we have to be extremely careful, making sure we don't get hit too many times to either proc rot or die. But luckily, Malenia does one fatal mistake while at low health. She tries to re-bloom into a flower, causing us an opportunity to use the weapon art of the Blasphemous Blade to take her down. We barely had enough time to salvage some clothes off of myself and Malenia before we were taken in by a dark fog. After the fog disappears, it seems that we are teleported to a small temple with a giant egg and an arm in front of us. Could this be Miquella? Before we can think about it too much, the arm falls and starts bleeding. revealing to be none other than Mogwyn himself. Apparently, he has heard what the Haligtree people were trying to do, and has decided to try to do it himself, taking advantage of our weakened state. He tries to talk us into willingly giving up our fair lady, but we refused. And without hesitation, he grabs his trident and marches his way towards us. Despite our injuries against Malenia, we continue to push forward against Mogwyn. We were not going to let him touch our fair lady and use her to further his foolish ambitions. However, this fight would take a turn for the worse in Mogwyn's second phase. With our core being at critical and our regeneration failing, it was either now or never to defeat Mogwyn. If we didn't, he would take the fair lady and do whatever he pleased with her. We were not going to let that happen. We summoned up all the remaining strength we have, and we thrust our blade into Mogwyn, unleashing the full power of the blasphemous blade, killing Mogwyn, but also destroying the blade in the process. After that, we pass out. While I was knocked out, the fair lady and Malenia take me to the round table hold to fix me. They've also learned that the Erdtree has impenetrable thorns and cannot be accessed. Luckily, there have been legends of the Flame of Ruin being able to burn the Erdtree. Upon me waking up, we see the fair lady. I approach her, and she tells me what I must do. We must go to the Flame of Ruin with Malenia and light the flame of the forge. We get very unlucky with our first attempt with the fire giant, but on the second attempt we defeat him. I'm not going to be spending too much time with the fire giant on this one because this video is already long enough as it is. Despite our best wishes, Malenia sacrifices herself to light the tree on fire. For a person who's helped us out so much, it really is a shame to see her go out like this. But she is carving a way for me to become Elden Lord, and for Lady Venus to become the new god of the world. The Godskin duo was actually very, very close. We've almost died on our first attempt. But because we were using the pillars and running away to get our health back, we were able to defeat them on our first attempt. I won't lie and say Malekith didn't put some fear into this run for me. Not only can he do some damage over time with death, he can also take away 10% of our total health at the same time. Making a massive mistake against Malekith would mainly mean death for me, which unfortunately he does get me once. But we were able to pull through, and we were able to defeat him and unleash destined death upon the world. Honestly, just fuck Gideon. I hate Gideon so much. He was such a pain for no apparent reason. But after several attempts, we defeat him. So, on to Godfrey. After we deal with Gideon, we continue forward, only to find the fair lady sitting in a nice comfortable bed. She instructs us that the two Elden Lords wait ahead. A true test of might, she says. However, she has full confidence that we will be successful, and she will await our return. I always look forward to the Godfrey fight inside these runs. Fighting Godfrey is always so fun, especially during his second phase, where he tries to just grab you and slam you down the ground so much. Honestly, Godfrey is just one of my favorite bosses of the Soul series. However, This time in his second phase, he's able to actually kill me by slamming down to the ground. So I thought that was a little bit funny to add in. But after all that, we are able to defeat him and continue on to the final boss of the game. With the Devour Scepter being a colossal weapon and also having fire damage, Radagon didn't really stand a chance. He just kept getting his stance broken too much, and the extra fire damage was just way too much for him to handle. He honestly didn't survive a minute, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. But after that, we continue on to Elden Beast. The fight with the Elden Beast went as well as a fight with the Elden Beast would go. Normally it's running away from you, and you have to spend time catching up to it. However, with us having a colossal weapon, we were able to break its stance at least once or twice. It was still a long test of patience, and through much waiting and being patient, we were able to defeat him on our first attempt. With the Elden Beast dead, we walk back down the steps, sit in our throne, and have ensured Lady Venus's rule over the lands between, while only regenerating health. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, please help it out by leaving a like and a comment. If you have any builds for me, do leave in the comments down below, and I will be making a poll on it. Anyways, as usual, I'm going to be showing off the build and stats. Now, obviously, you can try to optimize this even more. You probably have some better armor if you wanted to. But I was trying to make it look... I was trying to have some unique armor for this run, basically. But I think I did a pretty good job. Anyways, without further ado, thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye everyone. See you next time.